Nick in Rome is on the line right now. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning.
What do you? I've described the issue of the email, and I can't be the only person in the world that has this stuff happen. What do we do when are we in trouble? Is there somebody that's hacked into my account?
Well, it sounds like you took the first step, which is to, obviously change your password. But one thing I want to point out, Bill, is you want to make sure to go through and change all your passwords to all devices, not just that password for your email.
Oh.
Because if they were able to, say, change your, get into your account the first time, use your credentials, and then you went back in and, you reset your password or whatever, they could still potentially, force a password reset if they access to your other accounts, especially if you use the same password for multiple accounts. You know what I mean?
Right. And I got to tell you, I try to use these new, the browsers offer up these new really long passwords, but your computer, your browser doesn't always remember. And for some reason, every once in a while, it gets confused. I don't think that technology is perfect yet. What do you suggest in password use?
Well, I suggest at least, more than 8 characters, make them complex, symbols, capital, a mix of capital and lowercase, and don't use anything that's specific to you, obviously. Don't use your birthday, don't use, your name, your street address, your dog, your cat.
Right.
Anything that potential hackers could look on the social media pages or look up information about you and discover. You want to avoid that at all costs. So make it something, really that you would have trouble remembering yourself. But and obviously always use a different password for each service.
Got it. And on this case, somebody had told me yesterday, I was kind of going through the internet to figure out what it was. So I'm getting all these error messages coming back from emails that are being sent out using my email address. And somebody suggested that, well, they haven't got into your account. They're just using or mirroring or something, using your email address when they send stuff out. What would the benefit be of that if they can't see the email when it comes back?
That I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it made no sense to me.
Be for that. Yeah. One thing you want to make sure of, Bill, do you own the domain name?
Yes.
Whatever email? Okay, you do.
Yep.
Okay, so whoever's hosting your email, you want to make sure that they have something called an SPF record configured. Because if they don't, an SPF record basically identifies the source of where the email is being sent from is a registered source and has the ability to send email out. Now, if you don't have an SPF record configured, which isn't really required for email to work, users or potential hackers could send out email if they had access from anywhere.
I see.
So you want to make sure that's configured.
Got it. So it's F Sam, P Paul, F Frank.
Correct.
SPF record. All right, I'll get to that. Thanks a lot, Nick. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, and do you have a business on your own? You work privately? What is your story?
Yep, I work as a solutions consultant at M.A. Polsey Consulting in Rome.
Got it. Well, it sounds like you know your stuff. We really appreciate the call.
All right, have a good one, Bill.
All right, Nick, thanks. Steve, good morning. That stuff, it's scary today, right? Because we rely so much on that little thing that you have over there in your hand, the device. We rely on it completely.
Absolutely. And essentially what he's saying is you have to make your password something you'll never remember.
And that's so hard to do, isn't it?
Because you make a different password for every device, it's so you have to keep a notebook with you.
You really do. It's almost that the convenience is if you just have the password, you never have to remember your password. The problem is it makes you very vulnerable.